One of your cohorts at the American College, Steve Parrish, I like what he says. You go through three phases of retirement. It's go, go, slow go, and no go. And I like that thought. You know, it's go, go early. You're in retirement. You're maximizing. Then it's slow go because you're kind of feeling it and cognitive decline. And then at the end, it's no go. I think that's people need to come to grips with the second two, slow go and no go, and prepare for that like you're talking about, because it's going to happen and we are going to live longer. And I always tell people there's no U-Hauls behind hearses. If you see one, send me a picture. You can't take it with you. So you need to spend, you need to enjoy yourself. And you talked about that early in the podcast. And I'm thinking about, I come from the South, deep South, North Carolina. And I think a lot of the spending issues people have that they won't spend their money, they did come from that Depression era where things were tight and they did have to go through things. They came through the World War II era where they had to go without, and there were war gardens and things like that. And it was tough. But I do think I don't want to call it disease or an affliction, but my mom in St. Augustine, Florida, I keep showing her that, hey, Mom, if you spend $200 a day every day, you're never going to outlive the money. We're fine. You know, I'm just drawing down from her bank account. Forget annuities for a second. But it's hard for her to grasp that because she's gone through times where she didn't have any money and the parents didn't have any money. And they were mill workers in North Carolina. How do we do a better job as the annuity industry or retirement industry to say, this is how you live. This is how you have enough money and you don't have to worry about how long you live. How do we do that?
You know, if we look at the data, what we see is there's a lot of people who are like my mother. So my mother has a lot of money saved for retirement, enough. She also gets a pension. So she gets a lifetime income, which is like an annuity. Annuity, a pension is a form of annuity.
Absolutely.
It's just like an income annuity that you get from a private company. In some cases, I would trust a lot of those insurance companies more than I trust, say, the state of Illinois to provide me with a lifetime
I knew you were going
income.
to Illinois. Love the people in Illinois, but you know we're right.
But, you know, when she gets her paycheck every month from her pension, does she feel any guilt spending money from her pension to go out to dinner with friends or to go out on a vacation? No, you know, all that. And what we find is actually it is this frivolous spending in life that provides retirees with the greatest amount of life satisfaction. If you look at the kind of spending that provides satisfaction, going out to dinner with friends, social spending, going on vacation, going to a show, these are the kind of things that provide the most happiness. And the question becomes, are you going to feel comfortable pulling money out of your IRA to fund those frivolous expenses? And are you going to feel as comfortable as if you were getting that from some sort of a guaranteed source of income? And what we see from the data is clearly that people feel more comfortable spending money if they know that that money is not going to run out. And when they see that lump sum, very often, I actually did a survey where I asked what percentage of people would feel uncomfortable seeing the balance of their savings go down in retirement. And it was like 84% of people would feel uncomfortable seeing their nest egg number get smaller. That's a psychological problem. And I think it's part of how we're trained, you know, this habit of thrift that a lot of us have, that we just want to accumulate more. If we have a nest egg, we want to preserve it. You know, it's the old parable of the ant and the grasshopper. The ant saves for the winter and the grasshopper dances the summer away. And then the winter comes and the grasshopper is starving and the ant has plenty of food. And you know, it's there. The parable is there to teach you that thrift is good, and we all believe thrift is good, and we get to retirement and we've saved diligently our whole life and we don't feel comfortable spending the money. That's a problem. That is a psychological problem, especially if we don't have a strong motive to give the money away after we die. It means that you didn't live as well as you could have lived in retirement. And we don't talk enough about that because that's, you know, it doesn't seem like a problem. It doesn't seem in a way like a waste, but it is. It's a waste of enjoyment of the money that you sacrificed during your working years to accumulate. So why did you save all that money Why didn't you just go on more vacations when you were younger, or buy a
Right.
bigger house or buy a nicer car? You did it so you could live better in retirement. And then you get to retirement and you do not feel comfortable actually spending that money. Let's get beyond that, because we have to in the defined contribution era. Why? Because especially in a period where interest rates are relatively low, stocks are really expensive. We're going to have to become more comfortable with, we can't live off income from our investment portfolio. It's 3 times as expensive as the historical average to derive
Absolutely.
income from a stock and bond portfolio today, as it has been in the history of the United States. So we're going to have to get used to pulling money out of those accounts. And if you want to maximize the amount of income and the amount of spending that you can get, then you have to consider some form of income annuity for the portion of your savings that you want to use to fund that lifestyle goal.
Hey, Stan the Annuity Man here. Did you like that little taste of my podcast, Fun with Annuities? Hey, if you want to see the full version, click the link and watch the whole darn thing. Remember, Fun with Annuities. Live in the reality, not the dream.